Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Hello and welcome to a special episode of Missing Frames. I'm your host, Shawn Eastridge. This is the podcast on the Nerd Party Network where we watch all the movies we should have seen by this point in our lives. And hey, speaking of the Nerd Party Network, if you're not familiar, go to thenerdparty.com, check them out, follow us at Join Nerd Party on Twitter, like the Facebook page, The Nerd Party, and you can even follow us on Instagram at The Nerd Party. But the reason this is such a special episode is because, first of all, the audio quality is clearly not up to snuff with what it usually is. And the reason for that is, well, I am going to Sundance, people. Maybe you're not aware, but this is happening. And in fact, by the time this episode is released, it may have already happened, be in the process of happening. But the whole point is, I haven't released a Missing Frames episode in way too long, and I miss you. I hope you've missed me too. And if you haven't, I don't know why you're listening to this. But hey, before you go, please make sure to leave me a 5-star rating on iTunes. And hey, if you write a review, I will read your review live on the air. The show is not live or on any air, but you know, it's fine. You get what I'm saying. You get that this is an exciting thing and you should do it even if you don't want to. But really, the whole point is I'm going to Sundance. I'm so excited about this. This is the first time I've been to Sundance. This is the first time anyone at the Nerd Party has gone to the Sundance Film Festival, and hopefully not the last time. But we've got tons of great content coming up, and I wanted to kick things off the right way with a Missing Frames episode, and I wanted to do something a little more fun and see how it would go. So we created a poll on Twitter asking you to decide what movie I should watch during my it's like 4.5 hours for me to fly from Atlanta to Salt Lake City. So I wanted to see if I could just do a Missing Frames episode, like a mini episode, and watch a movie on the plane ride over. And everyone stepped in and the votes were in. The movies, in case you were interested in knowing what they were, the options were, I believe it was Tokyo Story, The Two Popes, Breathless, and Frances Ha. And Frances Ha was the winner. And I think it's all Lee Hutchison's fault. I think Lee, he won't say, he admitted it on Twitter, so I'm just going to go with what he said. But Lee, who is a wonderful human being, he hosts the A24 Project with Dallas King, and they also do Filibuster on the Nerd Party, so go check those shows out. But he, I think, just created a bunch of Twitter accounts and voted for Frances Ha over and over again and basically trapped me. So I have to watch this movie. But you know what? I'm okay with watching this because I've really, really wanted to see this, and I am a big fan of Noah Baumbach? Baumbach? It's Baumbach. No, Baumbach. Noah Baumbach. I have to get used to saying that. You know what it reminds me of? I heard him pronounce his name as Baumbach, and it blew my mind because I've been saying Baumbach, which just seems so much easier to say. Maybe I'm just an uneducated plebeian, but to me, I feel like it's the same thing as like, Smaug from The Hobbit, like smog. I feel like, why would you say Smaug when you can say smog? But this is neither here nor there. So I'm watching Frances Ha. This is actually a movie I'm really excited to see. I've been wanting to watch it for years and years since it came out. From what I remember, Baumbach, I'm going to struggle to say that name this entire episode. Just bear with me. Just know that Noah Baumbach will never listen to this episode, and just support me, please. I need your support. I saw The Squid and the Whale back in, I want to say 2006. It was released in 2005, and I saw it for the first time right after I graduated from high school. And the first time I watched it, I didn't really like it. I think it just hit a little too close to home. I am a child of divorce, and some of the struggles that all those characters are going through, it's a little twisted. It's very funny, but I don't think I got it at the time. And I happened to revisit it about a year later, and I found I really, really loved it, and I really connected with it. And I didn't end up seeing a lot of Baumbach's other stuff. I didn't see Margot at the Wedding because I heard it was just kind of depressing and not great, and the reviews were mixed. And then I didn't see Greenberg either. but from what I recall, Frances Ha was like a resurgence for Baumbach. I really am. I can't say it. I just can't say it. If I switch back to Baumbach, don't judge me. But I'm really gonna try. But this was kind of a resurgence for him because this was the first movie after a couple movies to kind of win the critics back over and get him the acclaim that he'd been kind of struggling with over the past couple entries. And I really wanted to see it. I just never got around to it. And I have even less of an excuse because it's been on Netflix for forever. And and I'm actually watching it on the Criterion channel instead. So take that, Netflix. They will never promote an episode of Missing Frames, but if they were thinking about it, now they won't. But I really I have wanted to see this movie. I know next to nothing about it. I know it's Greta Gerwig, who is fantastic. And this was kind of, no one has confirmed anything, but this is kind of the movie where they're supposed to have fallen in love, I think. She was in Greenberg. They met there, and then they co-wrote Frances Ha together. And suddenly Baumbach was no longer with his spouse, and suddenly he was with Greta Gerwig. So I don't want to point fingers, but I just want to say the timing is a little suspect, and I don't think anyone's being fooled. So that's really all I know about this movie. I know it's in black and white, and it seems right up my alley. It seems like kind of not coming of age, but sort of slice of life, which I always love. So that's very exciting. And I really like Greta Gerwig. I've seen her movies. I don't think I've seen her in a movie. I really love Lady Bird. I love Little Women at the moment. That is, I think that was my runner-up for favorite movie of 2019. And ironically, Marriage Story was my number one movie. So they're just a power couple. They're a power cinema couple. Looking through the production history on Wikipedia, because that's what I do in these episodes. There's no great mystery. Sometimes I pull these facts from my brain. Sometimes I'm just looking at a Wikipedia article. Yeah, that really covers it. I don't know much about it. I don't want to spoil anything for myself, so I'm trying not to look too deeply into it. But I do have genuine excitement to watch it. My anticipation is high, and I do have high hopes. And I have a couple friends, my dear friend Daniel Rayner, who's been on the show before. He's the Missing Frames Kubrick expert. He is not a fan of this movie, so he's the only person I've met who actively dislikes Frances Ha. Everybody else who has seen it seems to really enjoy it, and I hope I do too. You will find out. Stay tuned. I will let you know when I return.
Now available to own on video cassette.
Okay, and we're back. I am now in Utah, hanging out, doing the whole Sundance Film Festival thing. It has been amazing. I hope you stay tuned for all my coverage of that. But for right now, let's talk about Frances Ha. This is going to be so weird because doing a podcast episode on your own, especially when Missing Frames is all about having conversations with other people and getting other opinions and not just having to listen to me blab on. It's definitely super weird. But oddly enough, I feel like Frances Ha is the perfect movie to do that with. So I have to thank Lee for creating all his bot Twitter accounts to vote for Frances Ha and make me watch it. I don't know how long this review is going to be, but I loved this movie. I thought it was so wonderful and so charming, so sincere. It's funny. I can't remember the exact quote that Frances reads at the beginning of the movie during the opening montage where she talks about sincerity and how it can be perceived negatively, which I don't agree with at all. And that's an adjective I would absolutely use to describe Frances Ha. It feels so sincere and authentic, and it's fun and energetic. And it was one of these movies where I was afraid if I wasn't on its wavelength, it could come across as pretentious. But Baumbach, he has a way with his best work of making pretentious come across as human. It never feels like annoying. in a way that some movies where you feel like the filmmaker is smarter than you and is like just trying to prove over and over again that, hey, look how smart I am, look how intelligent, look how well read I am. There are elements of that in all of Baumbach's movies, but it's a very human thing. He treats it as a human thing, and I think a lot of it is because he approaches everything with a sense of humor. He is never mocking anybody, but he's always kind of laughing. Like the joke is, even in The Squid and the Whale, where Jesse Eisenberg's character, I think it's Walt, I want to say, when he's describing The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, having never read it, and he describes it as, yes, it's very Kafka-esque, and the girl he's trying to impress goes, yeah, because it's written by Kafka. But it's Baumbach is very in tune with that. He's very in tune with trying to make yourself sound that way. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, but hopefully in the same way that Baumbach is able to pull it off, hopefully I sound a little, whatever pretentiousness is coming across in this episode is more endearing than anything else. Really though, this is Greta Gerwig's show. Like, again, I'd only seen Lady Bird and Little Women, and I think they're both wonderful, wonderful movies. And I'd never seen her in a film. I'd never seen her perform in a film. And this movie is really about her. And Baumbach's aesthetic essentially is just let her shine. You almost, like we were talking about before, and when I say we, I really mean me talking about, but I'd like to think you're part of this conversation too, whoever you are listening. But I think that it's easy to see, you can almost feel, maybe I'm imposing my knowledge about their relationship into the movie, but you can almost feel him falling in love with her as the movie plays out, because it's very hard not to. She is playing a character who is a dreamer, like so many of us, living her life, living in New York City where she can barely afford to pay her rent, trying to just be a dancer and doing like interpretive dance and that, doing her art, and not having the means to support herself financially and struggling through that. And all those insecurities that come with trying to be an artist and just trying to navigate your way through that world of sort of being in your mid-20s and realizing, oh no, now this might not be working, and how do I deal with that? How do I cope with that? How do I move on? And do I have to now become a professional, quote unquote, human being? And Gerwig really nails it. It's a character I feel like in the wrong hands or with the wrong actor portraying it could have been really obnoxious. There are times when her behavior, Frances's behavior, is very obnoxious, and she is. It's amazing, but it's one of those things where she's so insecure about herself. Those tics could have come across as annoying, but they don't. At least not to me, they didn't. They feel very endearing. And I'm thinking of the dinner scene where she's asking the guy, "Oh, what do you do?" And the lawyer, who's I can't remember the actor's name, but the dad from 8th grade, who's wonderful. He's like, "Oh, I'm a lawyer." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's such a stupid question," or whatever. And then when he asks her, she goes, "That's such a stupid question." Just kidding. I feel like that it could be unlikable or annoying, but Gerwig pulls it off, and that's not an easy feat to make this really like kind of almost neurotic, self-aware character lovable. Is really impressive, and that apparently she's in every scene in the movie. She is in every scene in the movie, and she really carries it, and it's such a wonderful thing. And the energy of it, just that, I love the black and white cinematography. It just kind of lends it this it's authentic, but it makes it feel almost like more cinematic. I feel like if this movie was in color, maybe it just wouldn't have worked as well, but it gives it a classic feel of, I think, a lot of the influences that Baumbach, see, I'm still messing up his name, Baumbach took into this film. Like, I watched an interview where he was saying, like, Truffaut was a major influence, which is clear. Like, just those films with that energy, and the black and white cinematography really kind of puts Frances Ha in that wheelhouse in a way. It gives it that kind of classic feel, and I love that. I'm also, it never ceases to amaze me, the performances in Baumbach's movies are so strong that there's no improvisation, because everything feels so fresh and real, and everything is meticulously scripted to the point where like they are really, really, there isn't much room for improvisation. And it never ceases to impress me. And I've seen a couple of Baumbach's scripts. I've looked at the Meyerowitz stories, which is another movie of his I really enjoyed. And just the way it's really inspiring as a writer to just see the way he kind of puts all the little nervous ticks and the stumbles and the uhs and ums into his scripts, and how he builds them in, and how he has overlapping dialogue in there. But the way he pulls it off and the way his actors manage to pull them off is great. And speaking of actors, this movie has an amazing cast. I forgot that Adam Driver is in this movie. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the first part of the episode, but strangely enough, if I did, I'd forgotten by the time I watched it. So it was such a wonderful, it's always wonderful to see Adam Driver in anything, because he's amazing and very, very charming. I think Michael Zegan is he might be my favorite character in the movie as Benji. Like, I've been that guy. I know what that's like. I know what it's like being in that scenario where you have this very sincere love for somebody that could be romantic, but then just doesn't ever end up in that territory. Although at the end, there's kind of a hint that maybe they might do something. But he plays the part so well, and I don't know if it's Michael Zegan or however you pronounce it, but he is very, very sweet and genuine, and it's not hard to see. Their chemistry is very, very strong. Everyone is wonderful in this movie. I just love the little. I'm a big fan of movies with bromances in them, and I love that there's kind of a little romance between Greta and Sophie. Like, I just love that there's a friendship that is like kind of transcending platonic to almost romance in a way. There's that really beautiful moment near the end where Frances has talked about what she wants out of a relationship and how she'll know when she's in love. And it's like seeing that person across the room. And when they share that moment and you realize like, oh my God, yeah, I guess this is who they'll never be together in that way, but like this is kind of her true love in that way. I really loved that idea. This is tough. It's hard to talk about a movie on your own without someone to bounce off of. I really like talking, but I also like talking with people and getting other ideas from people and just getting that energy and bouncing off somebody else. But again, it works for this movie. It's weird that this kind of became a meta episode of Missing Frames because Frances spends so much of her time being on her own and alone and having to cope with that and having to cope with just like being single while her friend is getting engaged and also just passing up all these different, just like as I'm here on my own at Sundance, that felt like it's such a perfect movie for me to do. Like, I don't think I've done a Missing Frames episode on my own technically, so this feels like a really the movie feels worthy of that. Like, it feels like this is the movie that should have happened with. So I'm happy with that. And really, I don't know, like I loved this movie. I don't know what else to say about it. It's really great. And I hope if you haven't seen it, you'll check it out if you're a Baumbach fan. If you haven't seen it, I kind of spoiled some stuff, so I'm sorry for that. But I hope you will watch it anyway, because I think everyone should. My good friend Dan Rayner, who hated this movie for some reason, you're crazy. I'm sorry, Dan, but let's have you back on the show at some point anyway. And that's really it. So my rating scale, I'm going to do play fights. So kind of the slap fest she does with her friend and then tries to do later on with someone else who is not into it. So I would give Frances Ha, I think I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 play fights out of 5. I really loved it that much. Baumbach is he's on my good list this year. So I know we're past Christmas, but when December rolls around, Noah, hit me up. I'll get you a really nice present. I don't know what you're into, but yeah, it'll be great. So thank you so much for listening. I'm sure I hope this episode was as weird to listen to as it was for me to record, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you do like Missing Frames, if you do like what we're doing here, please rate us on iTunes. It helps us out. Write us a review. I will read your review on the show, and it will be great. You'll feel so excited. I'll be so excited. Thank you so much. I also encourage you to find me on social media at YayShondorman. You can like like me. You can like me. Please like me. And follow me on Instagram. It's Shawn Dorman. On Twitter, it's at Shawn Dorman. Of course, the Nerd Party has social media all over, at Join Nerd Party on Twitter, the Nerd Party on Instagram, and the Nerd Party on Facebook. And that is that. Thank you all so much. Stay tuned. I am going to be working. I'm not sure where this episode is going to fall in the output of Sundance stuff, but I'm working out all these different interviews and hopefully bringing you tons of great content from the Sundance Film Festival. I'm so excited to be here. It's been amazing so far. I've got lots of fun stuff to talk about. So stay tuned. There's more to come, and thank you so much for listening. Bye.